The latest stats are interesting in the way that the $275,000 house to $350,000 house was weaker than what we'd normally expect at around 26%, quite low. And the $400,000 to $600,000 houses were very strong, and they took up about 30% of the total sales of about 105 houses sold in the month. This trend we've been seeing through the year, and I suppose since the LVRs come in, the loan to value ratios had come in, so we've seen this trend through the year. The election has come and gone. It was stable at the start of through to the election, and things slowed a bit coming up to the election, as invariably they do, and we've pulled away from the election, and as we know, there's no change. The country seems to be stable, and so that's all good for the housing market.
The LVR rules, we're still seeing the effects?
We still seem to be seeing the effects of the LVR rules, and that normally the amount of the first home buyers are buying in that sort of $300,000 plus or minus range. We're seeing lower numbers in that area. Yet, in speaking with banks, the banks are saying that they've got money to lend to these people. So, if you are in that situation, knock on the door of the banks, because they certainly have the money to lend you.
So we're hearing news about a lot of action from property investors. Is that affecting the market?
The news that we've heard is that the experienced property investors are picking up properties. So they're seeing it as a good time to be in the market, and they are sucking up some of that 250 to 300, 350 price range house they're sucking up. So it's interesting to see where that's going to lead us. The implication to buyers and sellers is that for a buyer, that it's going to be difficult at the moment. The listings are low, and so then the amount of properties that they have to choose from is limited, and we're seeing purchasers having struggled to actually buy homes. There's a lot of purchasers there that want to buy homes, but they just cannot find homes to buy. On the other side is that the sellers, is that the market is probably better than ever to actually be on the market. Prices are still stable, so don't expect to be getting the miracle money. The purchasers still are very discerning about what they're looking for, but that if you price well, that you will sell. I think coming up to Christmas into New Year, I think it is pretty well steady as she goes. The prices I think are going to be pretty well similar to that. Interest rates are indicating that they're going to stay stable, and we may even have a bit of interest in what happens with those amongst the banks. But that should be stable, so if you're looking to buy, then now's a good time to be looking, that's for sure.
We've talked all year about how there's been a shortage of listings. Why hasn't that pushed the prices up?
Normally you'd expect a supply and demand in the normal market, and I think that is the case with the lesser listings. We should have seen an increase. I think there was a combination between what was happening with the interest rate, the discerning buyers that have not wanted to pay more than what the market value had indicated for the properties. And so the market came, I think, to its own equilibrium, and it has stayed there. That's what the money for the houses is, and that's where it'll stay.